Merluzzo is the Italian word for cod. What I want to show you next is how to make one of my favorite recipes. It is a filet of cod, pan-fried and topped with concasseo tomatoes. The reason why I love this recipe so much is because it brings me back to my youth, using a fish that was a favorite of my dad, and pretty soon will be a favorite of yours as well. Let me show you how to make it. Let me show you how to make a concasseo tomato. This is very simple. What we have in here is tomatoes that we have actually cut in small quarter dice, exactly like this. To this, what we want to do is to add a little bit of chopped basil. You can do parsley if you don't have basil, but basil I prefer. And then a little bit of chopped garlic. See how much there is of it? This is all that you need for this amount. No more than that, otherwise the garlic will be too powerful. And at this point is extra virgin olive oil that we add, and quite a bit of it. We want to have this as a fresh summer sauce to put on top of the fish. Then you only want to do at this point is just mix everything together, gently, kindly. Now that we got them all mixed up, flavoring, and that's my spice. This is the Nick's secret rub, really secret. It's equal parts of onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and paprika. You're gonna let this now rest for a while, and while this rests, let's attend to our fish. The last thing that we need to do is to actually flavor the cod, and it's quite simple. What I am doing is I'm placing a little bit of oil on all sides, top, bottom as well. And then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of the Nick Stellino flavor base. Nick's secret rub, so to speak. This particular flavor pack is going to be awesome for us. Why? As soon as it hits the hot pan, this is going to crust over and all the flavoring will be trapped right in there. How is it going to affect you? Imagine, if you can, biting into something, and each bite that you take has this wonderful, crispy, flavor-packed essentiality to it that guides you all the way through. Also keep in mind that this particular fish, merluzzo, cod, has a very flaky skin as well. And at the same time, it has a certain robustness to it. My brother once, as a compliment, or maybe as an insult, told me that I cook fish and I make it taste just like a steak. I don't know what he meant exactly, but I want you to be aware of that. This is wonderful to do on the barbecue, it's wonderful to do on the plancha, and the technique I'm about to show you is something you can do at home anytime you want to. So, this is hot enough. Let me show you to cook it. What you're noticing is that there is not a whole lot of oil, even though this is a non-stick pan. I am taking advantage of several things. First, I want for the pan to be super hot, and we're roughly about 400, 450 degrees. Two, I have a tiny bit of oil in the pan and a little bit of oil that I place on the fish, so there's going to be a separation. And here we go. Now, for those of you looking at this, you might think that this is something wrong with the fish. Actually, this is how the fillet is shaped. There was a strategical choice that we wanted to make, and by cutting it this way, we got the two parts of the fillet. Once we turn it very gently, it will remain whole, but if you see this, do not be concerned as if you made a mistake and you cut the fish the wrong way, or there's something wrong with the fish. It's just the way it is. You want to do this about now 3 minutes per side. Now we're going to turn our fish. This is all the flavor pack on top. The best part comes now. The butter does two things for us. Almost creates an element of cream all around the fish, a buttery taste that you can only imagine how fantastic that is when you bite into it. And basically, it unifies all the flavors into one perfect assembly. But this is what I love. It's time for us to turn off the fish. The cod is ready. The concassé is ready. Let me show you how to plate it. Everything that I taste in this particular dish reminds me of Sicily. This dish, to me, is the embodiment of Sicily, and in a certain way is also the embodiment of my father and all the teachings that he gave me. Not that my mom didn't count. My mom was extremely capable, and not only she taught me an enormous amount of things, but she was always very attentive in making sure that I would understand the lessons that were taught to me. And when it comes to this fish, I think that finally, after so many years, I know what I'm doing. And this is how you make filet of cod topped with a concasse of fresh tomatoes.